Okay, 10 degrees of takeoff flap set. Power up to 3/4 power on 4S. And away we go. Oh, yep. Bring it back to about just under over half power. And still climbing like a rocket at about 60% power. I've left the takeoff flap setting at 10 degrees. Back to up just over half power for the easy climb. A little bit of down trim. It's a stall. I'll come back into wind. A bit more down trim. Climb again, take the flap off. Climb might be a bit more positive then. I'm on a 2-minute throttle climb, approximately. And now we're up about 800 feet. Come up to about 900 feet. That's my 2-minute climb warning. Up at about 1,000 feet now, I'll just cut power. And we're soaring. You can just see it. Back to neutral elevator. Well, my neutral elevator is still in a little bit of an up trim position, but I'm just got back to neutral on my radio after a bit of down trim for the power climb. I've installed some turbulator strips on it today, so I'm just checking out how that is affecting the performance, which is probably very hard to judge line of sight, but she seems to be going okay. Nice flat turns. There's a little bit of thermal activity up there today. Just trying to find them. Bit of a left turn. Come back to me. Yeah, she's staying up there okay. At about 800 or 900 feet, 800 feet I think is about now. There's a bit of lift there. Yeah, a little bit of lift. Back on the elevator. A little bit of lift. There it is. I've got the flaps as well in a little bit of a reflex position, so slightly raised up a little bit when they're fully retracted. That helps, seems to help a little bit as well as the ailerons in the reflex as well. So it's giving you some nice penetrating power there into the wind. There's a bit of lift. And at this stage I seem to be maintaining that altitude roughly there on a 2-minute engine run time. And I'm just coming up to about 10 minutes since launch. Bring it back downwind a little bit, losing a little bit of altitude. What a beautiful machine. Bit of lift there. Now she's down to about 100 feet. Now we'll do some low level work. Power on. Very quiet motor. Going downwind. Watch those wings flex. I'll drop one stage of flap to takeoff position for some low level passes. Just using a bit of power, cut back, just gliding now. That's just my 10-minute timer on the radio. As I said, for 2 minutes battery time, I got 10 minutes this time, which is reasonably good. Although I was up at 1,000 feet to start off with, but I would have found a thermal or two up there. You can see all those clouds in the background, the thunderstorm, afternoon thunderstorm build up here inland. We'll just do a nice cruisy past flyby. I'm just gliding at the moment, haven't put the power back on. Put it back on now. Don't want to get too slow. Power up. Definitely a very graceful machine. try and do a closer flyby. Straight past me. Okay. Putting the gear down. Back to glide. Downwind glide. Base. Power on for finals to get it a bit closer. Up to altitude. Power off and a glide approach. Full flap. And there we go. Not bad. I'll show you where I put my turbulator. All I did was did a bit of research on the net. One of the guys has already mentioned putting it on his, but he's done a zigzag, I think. But all I did was put a bit of double-sided tape on that, a couple of layers, and left the original peel on the top and paint it over. And you get a slightly rough surface here, which is just past the paint where the bubble will break, or the airflow you want to be stirred up a little bit so it remains a laminar flow and reduces stall a little bit better. Well, it seems to be working alright. It seems to be pretty stable. I'm quite happy with it. And you see my landing position flaps, takeoff position flaps, and of course fully retracted, which is showing a little bit of reflex on the flap there, you see, and I've got reflex on the ailerons as well. You see that amount of reflex set on the aileron, slightly up, and you notice my mix on my rudder is pretty significant for full aileron, so that's why I can get my turns sort of flattish. Only concentrate on my aileron for turning, and the rest of it is all looked after by the rudder. And at the same time I'm giving a little bit of up elevator in the turn, nudging that in, as you already saw. There's my detail in the cockpit.